welcome to Georgie's Gorgeous Gifts. So today we're going to be repurposing these frames. So if you've seen any of my last two videos, you'll know that I've got a wedding fair coming up. So we're going to repurpose these frames from the mum and dad frames that I sell to wedding themed. In order to glam these up a little, we're going to be using some resin and some rhinestones of different sorts, two different designs and very different looks. And hopefully we're going to be turning both of these pieces into something every bride would want. First of all, I need to take this box frame apart and remove all the pieces that we've used previously. So these were hand created gemstones that I created for the bottom of these, and then we've got the backboard as well as the cardboard frame we're going to be decorating, and then we've got the actual wood piece that makes it a box frame. I've sped this bit up for you because I'm literally just taking it all apart and giving it a good clean. These box frames were about £3 each from Hobbycraft. You can get these box frames in various different colours and sizes. To start off, we're going to be decorating these backboards with some resin. So I've mixed up my resin, separated it into 2 cups. I'm going to be using 2 different colour mica powders. Now I had to laugh at this one because this was a mica powder that I had free with some resin that I recently bought, and I thought it was the perfect wedding colour. But when I read the package, I was howling because it says dosage and then per 90 ounces of soup rather than of soap, and they make that mistake not just once but twice on the packet, as well as every other packet that come with this resin. I mean, come on, if you're producing that many packets, you'd get the wording right and not necessarily use the word dosage either. Anyway, I digress slightly. So I've mixed up this colour and you can see it's like an off-white kind of colour, but I didn't want it as deep as this, so I attempted to pop a little bit of white mica powder into it, and you can see I poured way too much into this. So I did scoop a little bit of the white out, but I've said this before and I'll say it again. When you're using dry products in resin, it will always cure, whether that's sand, mica powder, glitter, etc. Whilst I was placing this on this backboard, I've sped this bit up for you. This video is in collaboration with the Friendship Express. Started off by the wonderful Tina, Pour Resin with Love, Sally with All Aboard Resin Creations, Amy at Resonating Art with Amy, and Susie with Serendipity Resin Creations. It's a fabulous collaboration. The playlist is linked down below in the description, along with some lovely discount codes for you to save some pennies. We're now on to the second board. Now this is just the white pigment that I took out of the last cup. And because it was slightly still too transparent, I added a little bit more of the white. I say white, but this is more of a silvery tone. I never ever use this as a white. My plan is to add metallic alcohol inks then to both pieces. It is advisable to babysit pieces like this for at least 30 to 40 minutes. It's exactly the same when you top coat an item, and you can see these little rings starting to form, even though there looks like there's lots of resin on there. These rings are forming because as the resin's curing, it's curing towards the middle, and it's leaving these little divots where there's not quite enough resin. So it's always advisable to keep a little bit of extra resin back. After I'd let these pieces sit for about 20 minutes, I then added some little streaks of metallic silver and gold alcohol inks to each of these. Now with the metallic alcohol inks, they tend to spread out really quickly and take over, so I am being really careful just to pop a little bit on the end of my cocktail stick and then drag it through. But because the resin had been sat there quite a while, it wasn't quite giving me the marbling effect that I was going for, so I'm adding some more clear resin in order to get rid of those lines a little bit. Once again, I added some more of the metallic alcohol ink, but this time I created dots in various places on this board. I then went in with some more clear resin just to spread those dots out a little bit for the next stage. For this top board, I decided just to alter it slightly and add the metallic alcohol ink into some clear resin and give that a good mix. That way it would give me the lines that I wanted without being so defined. And as I said before, the resin was becoming quite thick at this stage. You can also see by diluting that metallic alcohol ink, it's not spreading as much and it's not taking over as much, which is exactly what I wanted. but I still needed to blend these lines in a little bit more to give it that marbled effect that I was after. So I'm using my heat gun on the lowest setting and start to warm this resin up in order to make it a little bit thinner. By making the resin thinner, this will help to blend these lines in to give it the effect that I'm after. It's probably not advisable to still be messing with your resin at this stage, but I've been using craft resin now for long enough to know my limits with it and what it's capable of and what it's not. I then started to do the same with the silver one. Not only is this heat gun making the resin thinner, it's also allowing me to move the alcohol inks into a pattern that I like. Whilst doing this, I'm making sure that I'm continuing to move my heat gun constantly, being really careful not to burn the resin. I then left that to fully cure for about 12 to 15 hours. It was then time to do the next stage. You can use Cricut vinyl to do this if you have a Cricut machine, but I just recently purchased these UV DTF stickers, and these just happen to be the perfect size for this. So I'm picking out my two favourite ones. I then attempt to measure how much of the cardboard frame is still going to be showing once it's all put together. And this tells me that I can fit 2 rows of these rhinestones all the way around this board. As you can imagine, this took a good hour or so, having to individually stick 2 rows of these tiny 2mm rhinestones all the way around. Because this is cardboard, I am using Elmer's glue. I do this in sections as to not let the glue dry. Again, I'm just measuring whether we've got enough space, and then I go hell for leather, putting these rhinestones all the way around.
Here's to every take that didn't feel right, every quiet tear we hid off sight. Now we hold our nerve, we hit go live, side by side. This dream survives. New year, new beginnings. We're glowing through the screen on Georgie's gorgeous gifts with Tony in the scene, unwrapping all the changes, the courage and the cheers. New year.
You can imagine, with my ADHD, this felt like an absolute lifetime and 1,000 diamonds, but it was starting to come together. All the way through, I continue to just make sure that it's all going to fit together nicely, and that you can see these gemstones when it's all together put back in the frame. Once that was done, it was time to pop these UV DTF stickers on. Now these are like double-sided stickers. You remove the back and place it in the position that you want it, and then there's a piece on the front that you pull off. Now if you don't pull this front bit off, it's just a normal flat sticker, but once you remove it, it becomes like a 3D sticker in effect. I'm just removing at the top layer. This can often be quite difficult, and you really do need to either be patient or have some nails in order to do this. It's also really difficult to pull off. Whilst I'm pulling this off, I'm trying to be careful not to rip any of the sticker. And I just do exactly the same thing with the other piece. So we're not quite finished yet, but this is what we have so far, and I'm really liking that marbling effect. Now on to the next piece. For the silver one, we're going to be popping these strip gems onto this next piece because my head really couldn't take doing them individually. So onto Amazon I went and got these adhesive strips that we're going to be popping across the top of this frame. These strips do come in various different sizes. There are loads on Amazon, but this was a pack of 6 in I think 4 different sizes. This size was perfect for what I needed. So I'm just measuring it and cutting it down to size, removing the backing and just popping it exactly where I want it on the top of this cardboard frame. And I do that for all 4 sides. Now I have got to say, at this point I was really pleased that I'd found these, because these went on so much quicker and easier than the little rhinestones. And I think I actually prefer this one. Once again, I attempt to fit this one to make sure that you can see the rhinestones all the way around. And you can see that alcohol ink has made that beautiful marbling effect again in the background. Now I know that everything fits together nicely, it's time for the next stage. Now, although those rhinestones were a mission, this was even worse. But if you've seen my channel before, you'll know that I'm not one to give in easily. But you'll also know that I am exceptionally bad at weeding vinyl. Now, this is tech wrap vinyl, really, really good vinyl, but I'm just really awful at weeding. I did eventually end up printing off bigger writing, but this one is so small, detailed and fine. It was so difficult to do this that there was no way I was going to do the writing I had planned for these pieces. This has been sped up times 30 and it still takes me ages to do. So the writing that I had planned, like I said, there was quite a fair bit for both of them. So I decided to change the writing into a writing that was a lot less fiddly. Because I put you through the pain of that weeding, I did that off camera. And we'll return to that in a bit. For now, I want to just make the little gems that we're going to be popping inside these pieces as loose gems along the bottom. I also wanted them to colour match, so each of these is individually made by hand. I started off by using some UV resin into one of these measuring cups, and then adding some silver sparkly holographic glitter into the one and some gold holographic glitter into the other. I am only popping a little bit in at the minute because we want the light to be able to penetrate through these glitters. And then I'm filling the third cup up with some of this diamond dust, which you can see I am literally using just a tiny bit on the end of my cocktail stick. After giving these a good mix, it was then time to pop them in the mould. Now I have 2 moulds for this. I only show filling these up once, but obviously I made a lot more than just the one set as we need them to fill the entire base of these frames. So I wanted a mixture of the silver, the clear and the diamond dust, and then a mixture of the gold, the clear and the diamond dust. After pouring it into the mould, and then using my double-sided lamp just to fully cure this. Now I did pop this under my lamp for a good 8 minutes. And because it's a double-sided lamp, it cured both sides at the same time. These are now fully solid, so I'm careful not to mix them all up, so I do pop them into individual cups after they are fully cured, but they are really, really cute. There's all different kinds of shapes. There are a few where there has been excess resin go over the edges, but this is easy enough just to cut off with a pair of scissors, as you can see here. So I'm just tidying the odd few up, and I just repeated the process until I had enough pieces to cover the entire bottom of these 2 frames. So you can see I am using 2 different types of moulds. I've had these moulds for years, so I will try and look for them and link them below in the description. But I just wanted to show you how transparent that the resin is that I'm creating these 2 sets of gems with. As I said earlier on, we would be revisiting the vinyl. You can see here that this writing is a lot bigger. Not necessarily bigger in size, but a lot less fragile and a lot less delicate. So I didn't have much of an issue with this one, but I wasn't going to put you through the whole process once again. I am using some Cricut vinyl transfer tape, and I honestly don't know whether I'm doing this right, but this is the way that it works for me, making sure that this writing is completely level. I've printed out Mr. and Mrs. Cooper, built on love, sealed forever, and 1st of the 9th 26. Why that date I don't know, but I think this gives it a really nice finishing touch. So again, I do the same for both, but on the next one I've put Forever Starts With Us, Mr. and Mrs. Cooper and the date. It's then time to pop them all together as we are now nearly finished. First of all, I pop in the cardboard frame that we jazzed up with the rhinestones, then added the wooden box, which although I don't do it in this video, my plan is to paint it maybe either a grey or a white, depending on the colour of the frame. I add enough in right the way along the bottom. As you can see, I am using the 3 different colours, and then adding this onto the back and pushing down the pins. So we are now nearly finished. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please do take a look at the playlist that's linked below. Here's some glamour photos. I've been Tony from Georgie's Gorgeous Gifts. Stay safe, happy crafting, and bye for now.